What's up, y'all? It's your brother in the footwork, DJ Cornerstone, and you are watching Give Us the Works on the Foot Workout channel, where I interview various dancers, DJs, and producers. So listen up and pay attention while our guest today gives us the works. Here we go. See here. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on?
Oh, man, what's happening?
Peace and blessings, man. Just blessed.
Yeah.
Man, glad to be here. Happy to be here.
Man, I'm so glad you're here. On the real, man, thank you so much.
Man, thank you for having me, man. Truly appreciate it.
Oh, man, anytime, man. You know, you get the red carpet, Prince JRon. Come on.
Well, I appreciate that, man. How your day been so far?
It's been a busy day, man. My Fridays, so I work 4/10s Monday through Thursday. So my Fridays is where I'm like taking the kids to school, picking them up, trying to cook, trying to clean, you know, try to lighten the load on my wife a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And I thank God for it because, man, like it's some work, man.
Yeah.
Doing all that.
That is true. I saw the little one getting down in the class, man. I saw both of y'all. I was like, hey, it was an honor and a blessing to have y'all both in the class. And I know he got a chance to burn off some of that energy.
Yes. That's always a good thing.
Like, oh, he gonna sleep good tonight.
Yes. Yep. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I was happy that y'all was able to come to the class and get a chance to not only learn about Chicago Footwork, but also get a chance to experience better ways to connect it with yourself, you know, and how to express yourself. Because it go way beyond just kick of a feet, or it go way beyond just the speed. It's about, it all reflects you and what's inside. What you feel like today may be different from tomorrow. So it's a learning experience too, because sometimes your body will teach you stuff that you didn't even know you could do. Like, I didn't even think I could do that.
Straight up. Dang. Well, Prince JRon, if you don't mind, I want to roll a proper introduction for you, man, because this is also a podcast. Some people might not know, but they about to know. So, ladies and gentlemen, man, hey, I like to introduce one of the great ambassadors of Chicago Footwork, one of the dancers from Madonna, also one of the hosts of a really dope show called Behind the Name. This brother does all kinds of stuff, y'all. So I want y'all, and plus, excellent footworker. So if y'all help me give it up for Prince JRon.
Hey, love and respect, man. Thank you. And, thank you everybody that's tuned in to the show also, and tuning into the culture. Thank you for everybody that's showing love and participating and learning in the culture. So those that are pushing the culture in any different way, whether it's making the music, whether it's teaching children, whether it's teaching yourself, big salute to you, for all of those that's out there that's listening, that's also establishing a part of this culture, because everybody's is an important branch to the tree, so just like the ones before me, they didn't have social media, they didn't have Facebook, they didn't have a podcast, they didn't have classes, they had to learn it in the streets and word through mouth. And they passed it on to those generations, and those generations passed it on. Then eventually it came to our generation, and now we're passing it on. So now we have more technology and we have more resources to help other people get connected, because this saved not only my life, but it's saved many lives in Chicago, and it's saving lives around the world too. It's a positive outlet where a person can get a chance to not only experience themselves and experience the music, but it also takes a look within, you know, and you get a chance to get connected with amazing people, amazing, talented individuals from all different parts of the world that's all coming together for one love. And that's a powerful thing right there.
Yes, indeed. And you know, and I like that you said that, because some of these people live in countries that don't get along, but yet the people through dance are friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a blessing, man.
I'm very blessed on the journey that I had, and just the things that I've seen and witnessed, the power of music, the power of vibration and energy. It goes beyond human, you know, it goes beyond the mental, where even if you don't mentally know a language, you can sing along to a song. You can still groove to a song. You may not even know that language of the song, but you can still connect through the spirit of the song. So even if you don't even know the word translation, it's just powerful. Like even on the Madonna tour, where we would be in countries where they did not speak no English, being in a hotel and walking down the street and saying hello to somebody, and it would be like they have no idea what hello is, or they wouldn't even know how to respond to hello. But yet that same night, come to a Madonna concert and sing every word clearly in English.
Yeah.
That was some powerful stuff right there, where you get 80,000 people singing this lady's song in English, but yet they don't know English. They just know the music. They just know the love in the sound.
Yeah.
And they connect to the sound. So that right there was like an eye opener to me, when it was like, man, music goes beyond language. It goes beyond race. It goes beyond anything. Is your universal love, a universal sound. And I think that's another reason why too, just like Chicago Footwork, just like any type of music, house music, you get all types of different genres where it connects to different generations, old and new. And it's once again, it's timeless music. Yeah. So it is not just specifically one race or one generation. Many generations get down. You have, you know, your grandma may get down to house music, you know, or, you know, hey, it's just amazing. You'll have the kids dancing to the same song at the house festival. So it's a cultural thing that goes beyond generations. And I'm definitely happy to be a part of it and share it with the world. And Chicago Footwork is just an evolution, for those that don't know. Chicago Footwork is just an evolution, or I should say a child of H.A.V.O.C. So just like H.A.V.O.C would be the parents, they had, you know, a child called Ghetto House. And through Ghetto House, those siblings started making different dance styles, and they started merging. So you get different parts where Chicago Footwork emerged, Detroit Jetting emerged.
Right.
And you have different things. So you have these different branches, but they all come from the same tree. They may be in different states, you know, like New York they may be housing in New York, but the root of the tree comes from Chicago. They may be Detroit Jetting, but the root of the tree comes from Chicago, you know, and the thing is, and that's just with the sound of the sound. But the number one root is the motherland, you know.
Yeah, say that.
So the motherland is the, you know, like I'm talking about the roots and I'm talking about the tree, but the soil of where all of this stuff is being fertilized from is from the motherland.
Yes.
And that's the reason why a person across the world in Africa can do the same step, even though they never even saw the dances in Chicago. They still connected through that same spirit, that same source, that universal source where we all get our creation from, where we all get our ideas from. They can do the exact same movement. That's the reason why somebody can come up with an idea and somebody they never know could come up with the same idea. But it's through that's creative source, you know, that one. And that's what we all represent. Every time we dance, we just a different reflection of it. And it's just like a rainbow. is just like a rainbow. We all just like different colors and different shades of it. So when we all dance, we are experience our perception of our love for dance, our love for who we are. And I love seeing a person dance. I love teaching because sometimes we all on a journey discovering who we are, but through dance we get to discover even more about ourselves. Yeah. It's like evolution.
Man, you right on that, man. You know, and you said something too, like even the drums, like you talk about the dance, but like you can hear the drums from Africa inside of different footwork tracks, all the way back to Ghetto House.
Yep.
Boy, Caleb.
That's what it's about. Hey, that's what it's about right there. Hey, hey, when you start talking about the spirit and the source of what we do, it just do something to people, you know, like and like right now it's a vibe where it connects to all. It goes beyond words, because at the end of the day, the drums is a representation of us. You know, our heartbeat is the sound that it beats every day. That's our drum every day. Our rhythm patterns change every day, whether we happy, whether we sad, whether we angry. The heartbeat go faster. You get nervous. But when you hear certain music, it changes your feeling. When you hear certain music, it changes your heartbeat, because you relate to the emotion behind the music. Whether it's pain in the music, whether it's love in the music, whether it hype you up, whether it calms you down. Depending on the frequency and the tones of the energy in the music, it also is a reflection of you. So if it's a tone that you can't relate to, then of course, like I said, it's just a mirror reflection. You know, everything you see is a mirror reflection. But with the music, going back to the motherland, it was a spiritual thing. Everything we do is a spiritual thing. And when we dance, it's spiritual warfare on that dance floor. And everybody that dance is spiritual warfare, whether a person acknowledge it or know it or not. Once you dance, you are releasing energy on the floor, and you're reaching a state of peace.
You can say hi real quick. I think he's excited because you hear, you know, he said,
yeah, what's up?
Come on, you in.
Oh yeah, what you had to say?
What you want to tell Prince JRon during the class? You typed it up.
I wanted to play music.
Yeah. It was it was something else too. You had typed an emoji with the planet Earth on it. Do you remember what you said? Oh, see, now he gonna shy away. You all.
Oh, what? I want to know.
He making people think I got extra arms sticking out my neck, and now he want to shy away. But no, he was like, man, Prince JRon is the best footworker in the world.
Oh man! Hey, salute, young king.
Yeah, I know you. Oh, finish eating your food, Caleb. You all right? Did you want some more? You good? Okay, go get you some more. Oh, okay. All right, go get you some water.
That's what's up.
Man, you a good teacher, man. Like, to keep him. This is my wild bull right here.
Man, well, when it comes to teaching, that it was once a point of time where Chicago Footwork wasn't taught that way. So it went through an evolution. So it went through what you say, the process factory to get to this point. It was very raw. It was really, back in the day, learning how to footwork was a little bit tougher due to the fact that we didn't have studios back then. We didn't have like nice fancy dance schools. It was like you learned in somebody's basement. You learned in the park district, in the park, the alley, in the middle of the street. And so it was more like, hey, do this. It wasn't like 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 and 2. Like, no, it was just like they just doing it fast, and you got to try to learn fast. So coming to teaching us how to teach was a lady named Lady Soul. She is the one that Yeah, Lady Soul is the one that orchestrated Chicago Footwork Kings, and she implemented a structure, a curriculum when it comes to teaching. And so she taught us that, me, King Charles, and a few of us, she taught us how to teach. As so that way we could be able to showcase our dance style and our culture in dance studios and dance schools. Because at the end of the day, to be able to teach in some of these places, you needed to have a curriculum. And we're like, what's that? You know, like we had to learn how to warm a person up, how to break down the steps and counts, how to warm a body up so you could do cool down exercises. All of these things help a person and be able to teach more than just one way. Everybody learn different ways. Some people learn through rhythm, some people learn through counts, some people learn by just seeing it, you know, like, oh, just show me, I just need to see it and not catch on. You know, so everybody have different ways, and then some people have unique ways to learn. You know, they need to connect to something that they're familiar with. Whether they play sports, they may need metaphors to relate to sports, how you connect sports to dance, or anime, cartoons to dance. It is in many ways. So we had to learn that, and then by learning that, we just got to a point where we could teach people that don't even speak English. Like we didn't even need English no more. And me and King Charles, we created a formula that worked, that can teach people that even if they didn't speak English, they could still learn just like that. And remind you, this style been around Chicago for years. You know, before I was, you know, like even into it, generations before me. So I had years to learning this style of dance. And once again, we didn't have dance classes. So to be able to formulate a formula to teach somebody that never did Chicago Footwork before within an hour's time or 2 hours time was like, you know, that goes with how good we had to implement the teaching, you know. So some steps that took us years to learn, we was able to break it down to be able to teach a student within an hour.
Wow, that's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm gonna share something for y'all who hadn't taken Prince JRon's class. Y'all are missing out. Cause like, bro, I footwork before, you know, I'm from Joliet, so I would have to get about half from observing when I would go to Harvey, Markham, and Dalton back in the day. And then sometimes somebody will take off to the side and show you something, but the other half would be through my like classmates and friends that had relatives in Chicago. They'd pick it up and then bring it back. And I'm gonna tell you, man, like it can be hard to, for one, if you're not properly taught, which me, I feel like I'm one that's not properly taught. I wasn't trained by like how y'all are doing. You know, this is real legitimate classes. This is like going to Allen Avery or something like that.
No, it's a real, yeah, like it's real classes. And Chicago Footwork ain't no joke. You know, like it ain't no joke in all areas. You know, because once again, it's a reflection of you, and dance is life. And when we say dance is life, it's a reflection of your life. So if it's one of those things that it's like a science, you know, like math. Yeah, you can learn elementary math, you know, like 2 + 2 and what a number is, and maybe move on to subtraction. Then from there, okay, now you got addition and subtraction. Now you got multiplication and division. Now you like, whoa, but then you got levels from there. Then you start going into decimals, and then you start going into equations with, you know, variables with, now you're doing AB + 2. Like you ain't, you know, now you're doing stuff like that and going to geometry and trigonometry. So it could get real complicated real quick. But at the end of the day, once you know the foundation of what you're doing, and that's with anything in life, whether you make music, it's the exact same thing, you know, like you can learn a few notes, but once you start learning the different scores and measurement bars and things like that, it's like it can get real difficult real quick. So you always got to go with the simple first. You got to go down. You got to break everything down before any serious tower. You got to start with one brick. You got to start with the blueprint.
Yeah.
Before you build the empire, you got to have that one stone to start it off with.
Right.
So
get the
that's
foundation
what we
right.
teach. Yeah. So that's why we teach the foundation first, because it's not about learning a lot of steps. You know, it's not about the speed either. You know, the speed mesmerizes you, and the speed catches the eye fast. But the speed is not about the speed, because depending on how you hear music, that's the key. You may hear certain parts in the beat that other people may not hit, and so you may actually dance slow. I actually started off dancing slow, and I made it, and it was dope. Like, I was dancing slow. Because I wanted people to see everything that I did. I want people to see the music that I'm listening to while I'm dancing. Because everybody, I mean, the track, Chicago Footwork tracks is do 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 do. You know, but you also got the clap. You know, if you minimize the drums, and you listen to either some of the bass patterns or some of the claps, it's a nice little breather in between. So if you want to dance slow only to the claps, yeah. But for those that are more experienced, they may dance to every beat. So they may dance to the drums, the claps, the sample. So that's when you see it so fast, because they're hitting every beat. But I always tell people, you just want to find your lane, like on expressway. Dancing is like driving. When you drive on an expressway, it's 3 different lanes. You got the express lane for those that want to speed through. You got the middle lane, that's like you could just cruise. And then you got the slower lane, which all the way to the right. You know, you may get off and switch at any time. It's just like that with dancing. Like, you got those that pace themselves through the track. You got those that speed through. You got some that just take their sweet time. And then you got those that drive off the road and be off beat, you know, but that's, you know, it's always those scenarios too. But you want to stay on beat, you want to stay on the road, and listen and connect to the music. That's what the music is there for. The music is there to connect with.
Man, yeah.
It tells a story. It tells a story. These DJs that's making the music, the music was the news.
Yeah.
The music was the news in the hood. So the news reporters wasn't really coming to the hood. So when things was going down, and what they saw, they put in the music. You know, if the girls in the neighborhood was a little raunchy, they put what they saw the girls doing in the music, or they, you know. So it was just like, if sometimes you may hear certain things in the music that may be like, why is repeating that, you know, or why is it saying that? Where that DJ was from, he got some inspiration based off his environment or the things that he saw going on, you know. So all the tracks is a story. If you ask any DJ that make a track, they just didn't make the track just to make it. It was a story behind it. Something happened. If it was a diss track, it could have been a diss track because something happened in the party that caused that emotion to make that. So sometimes you will hear, like, you know, like you may hear something, whereas Chicago Footwork had parties like every weekend. So when we was in high school, going to the party, that was like church. Like, you didn't miss a service at church. Like, you didn't miss a party. Yeah. Because if you did miss a party, you would hear everything that went on the whole week during school. So like that whole week, the last party that happened that previous weekend, you would hear about it all in class, in the lunchroom. And you're like, oh man, I wish I was there. Now remind you, it wasn't no cameras, so it ain't like you could go to a Facebook Live. Yeah. If you wasn't there to see it in person, you just gotta wait till the next week. And you just like, oh man. So it was one of those things, whereas people made tracks about what happened in the party. If somebody got embarrassed on the dance floor, we would call that in Chicago Footwork getting balled up. Like he got balled up, you know what I'm saying? So it may have somebody like JRon got balled up. JRon got balled up. Like it may be a track like that because I could have got messed up in the party.
Not about JRon, no.
But hey, I'm just using myself as an example. I'm using myself.
Yeah.
I haven't heard no JRon got balled up track. I'm just using myself as an example because hey, we all get a good day and a bad day, but I ain't never get no I ain't never get singled out before. But I just wanted to say that just so people could be aware of the music was really new. Even if you did amazing, like if your crew was doing such a good, now mind you, there's no internet. So if your crew was really coming to these parties, really representing and just making a name for themselves locally, DJs would see that and they will make an actual track for your group. You know, you'll come to the party. Now you wouldn't know this, but when you walk into the party, you would be surprised because you hear your name on the speaker. Like, whoa, I've been working. Like that was like a huge accomplishment. Like you got a track made, your name in the like. You walk in the party, DJ Cornerstone, DJ Cornerstone, DJ Cornerstone. You like, who made this?
Yeah.
What did I do to receive this? and everybody, and remind you, the whole party is dancing to your name. So it's like you like on a pedestal, like, yo, that's me. Like it's like and then you go back to school and like the whole party, the whole school, like, yeah, we was just dancing to that JRon track. Like it was just a vibe that it was just like a status that I can't explain it. It's still, even though I'm speaking it through words, the energy behind it, the respect behind it. I mean, even from the gangsters, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of gangsters was doing Chicago Footwork too. It was like I said, it was in the streets. So a lot of gangbangers was highly respecting Chicago Footwork. So even if you wasn't a gangbanger, just because you did Chicago Footwork, you got respect. You got a pass. So certain neighborhoods in Chicago is not friendly everywhere that you could just go from one neighborhood to another, because some people beef with each other just living from across the street. So that's how segregated Chicago is. But when you're doing Chicago Footwork, you get a pass to go to certain areas because it's like, oh, he's just a footworker. Like, oh, I watch him on YouTube. Like, oh, you cool. You can come on this. Like, it's like a woo. Thank God I footwork. If I ain't footwork, I would get beat up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing over here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like what you doing over here? Like, oh, I'm just a dancer. Oh, you do footwork? Oh, let me see something. Like, I'll footwork anytime to save my life. Like, but it's just one of those things where it was highly respected around Chicago, and like I said, people from all areas did it, all ages, and it's just one of those highly respected things because it comes from Chicago, where it was, you know, as far as it's just been groomed here for so many years. And now Chicago Footwork has evolved to bigger stages on the NBA All-Star. NBA All-Star from the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. Chef with Dancing with the Stars. I said Super Bowl, world tours. We did we got TV shows, billboards, on top of the Madison Square Garden, United Center. It just like plenty of, man, I could go on and on. Movies, like I could go on and on as far just Chicago Footwork accomplishments. Like you just had Chum and them go to LA, and they just won the whole dance competition on the Caffeine app. So when I speak on like accomplishment, I'm just saying like holistically, everybody's doing amazing things. You know, we done we done broke so many boundaries where people said Chicago Footwork couldn't go. Like people used to be like, "Yo, you Footwork? Oh, Footwork can't get nowhere." It's true. It won so many competitions. It did world tours, movies, everything they say. Oh, it can't get on magazines. It's been on Red Bull. It's been on Rolling Stone. It's been on video games. It's been on first page of the news. Like shout out to DJ Rashad and DJ Spin. They got their music on Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the hottest.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that game been hot for. If I'm not mistaken, I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is like world breaking. Like that's the #1 game that's been #1 for years. Like most of the time when a video game come out after WoW is get played out. That game been out for years and still like top in the stores. That's crazy.
That's right there.
And their music in Chicago Footwork music is being played on that game.
So
and
it's
that's
like
worldwide.
The game being a classic is also helping the track to be a classic. It's never gonna die.
Yep, because people playing the game and they hear the music like, what's this sound?
Yeah.
Like it's whack.
Yeah.
It's whack. Yeah.
Man, there was a couple things you said earlier you touched on because I like to give a quick shout out because you're talking about how you can go to different neighborhoods and the gangsters be like, oh, he Footwork. So I know you part of that, the Footwork Saves Lives movement. So shout out to the sister Deshaun Battle, man.
Hey,
I check y'all stuff out, man.
Yes, man. Hey, man, shout out to Shadan, man. She is so amazing. Man, a lot of people did Chicago Footwork DVDs and things like that. And in the past, most Chicago Footwork DVDs kind of like focused on one group. So like HAVOC, we had our DVD, Terror Squad had a DVD, Creation had a DVD, BGs had a DVD about their spot. The Footwork Kings, we had a DVD about our journey. But it was, and there's plenty of other DVDs, but it wasn't a DVD that had like everybody from different generations. Like, you know, it was one like Footwork Kings was kind of close to it, but it still was kind of like focused on Footwork Kings. But with Shadan though, with her DVD, it's like, oh, I ain't gonna say DVD. Her documentary is about the whole culture, all the way from the beginning up into present day. So interviewing the young bulls, interviewing the OGs, the ones that was back in the day starting the first moves, the pioneers before us. So Shadan doing that, and then on top of that, she's bringing it to colleges. She putting it in curriculum as far as teaching and doing presentations. I'm blessed to be a part of that with her, with a few others like Paul Zaddy, Little Bit, and the camera crew, and you know, Reed Charles and us. We did together with C.F.O.C, with Boston. Like, man, it's just a whole different ball game. Whereas when I was learning Chicago Footwork, this wasn't like in colleges being taught. You know, like you had certain groups, but yeah.
JRon, I wish it was so much. I probably would have graduated with a degree if it was, because
man, I swear. This is social science.
Yeah.
This is a real social science. Like what comes with Chicago Footwork is beyond anything you could even think of, because it's a social science that's teaching you how to communicate with other people. It's teaching you how to communicate with yourself. It's teaching you how to be healthy. It's keeping you watching your weight loss, exercising. Is also teaching you how to build memory. You know, you got to remember the steps. You got to remember the combinations. It's teaching you how to be creative, how to
coordination. You gotta have coordination.
Right, eye and body coordination. I mean, man, it's therapeutic. You know, like it's a form of meditation. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. Because even like that, like the form of meditation, like the speed is so, like it's almost like stages. Like when you first learn Chicago Footwork, you go through the beginning stages of you want to be perfect. And when you go through those stages, it's like you thinking too much, you know, and that's something that we all do. We always, if we learn something new, we kind of think hard about it. So while we're dancing, we're probably thinking, am I doing it right? Do I look good? You know, but once you get to a certain point, you start to get more confidence in yourself, and the thinking starts to go away. And once you stop thinking so much, then you get to a point of blacking out. And when you stop thinking, it's a certain point where, and it's not just dance. It could be when you're drawing, when you're creating music, when you're singing, when you're performing, when you're making clothes. It's a certain stage where you get so comfortable, you black out. And when you black out, you're just moving straight through source, you know, straight through spirit. It ain't no thought. But when you do come to your senses, you look at what you did and be like, dang, I created that? Yeah. I can't even do that again. Like, that was a one-time thing. Like, because mentally you have no idea, because you was that free. And that's when you start to get into a master of self. When you come to that level as a master of self, it's a realm of no thought. It's a realm of no thought. That's what mean a master. Master is when you don't even have to think about it. Wow. It's automatic. Yeah. So when you walk right now, when you was a baby, you know, like I said in my class, it's just like, if you could walk, you could footwork. But when you was a baby trying to learn how to walk, you was stumbling, you didn't want to fall. But after a while, you got so comfortable where you could walk without thought. You can walk while doing other things while walking, talking on the phone, not even looking at your feet while walking and eating, you know, and you able to black out as far as worried about walking. And it's almost like and when you get to that point in your gift, and whoever's listening, whatever gift, that's the reason you practice to get to that. And it's almost like your heartbeat. You're not thinking about, man, I gotta make my heartbeat right now. No, your heartbeat is with no thought. Your heartbeat is working right now. With no thought, you are breathing air. With no thought, you are blinking your eye. Like, now, before Madonna, you know, I practice. When we get on Madonna tour, that was my first time ever in life doing the same routine for 3 months straight. Like, before we even start traveling around the world, we practiced from like morning to afternoon, evening, the same routine. And I didn't really understand that until when we started traveling. I started understanding, wow, this is like, I'm doing this routine literally with no thought. Like, that was my first time experiencing being triggered with no thought. Like, I'm talking about, like, I could be in a store and a Madonna song come on and my body like start going into like, whoa. I had to remember, like, whoa. Yeah. Like, it's almost like like when people come from the army, you know what I'm saying? They hear a gunshot and it's like, it just snaps them back into the battlefield. And it was like, whoa. I'm like, dang, even to this day, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could be in the store and I hear it, and like, for a split second, I feel like I gotta get in show mode, and I gotta remind myself, like, oh, okay, I'm cool. But that's what mastering of self is, when you're able to snap like that. You know, you got somebody like, let's say like somebody that can sing, you know, they can have talent. A person could have talent, but if they can't snap into it, they haven't really mastered it. Because it should be able to, they could be, a person that's mastered it, they're ready at all times. You ask me to dance, I'm ready at all times. At all times. Like, you got some people that just dance for free. They just dance for the love. They ready at all times. They don't care. And that's when you know, that's what I'll say about mastering yourself, because you're dancing for you and nobody else. You know, you're dancing for your love. You're not dancing to impress nobody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just automatic for you. You know, it's just second nature to you. Like, it's no sweat, you know. So that's one of the things that I had learned on my journey, that I when I teach, I try to teach Chicago Footwork through the Footwork Bible, and and also for those that may not know, I got this thing called the Footwork Bible. It's basically, when I first started doing Chicago Footwork, I couldn't learn online. I couldn't learn on a class. All I did was, I had a person named JB the Great. That was my person my first teacher, and the first person that brought me into Chicago Footwork. I saw Battle in School, and I wasn't a dancer. I just saw some feet moving fast, and I saw girls going crazy, and I'm like, yo, I want to learn how to do that. Like, I want to be a part of that. So he took me to this thing called the King of the Circle.
Yeah.
King of the Circle. This is 2002. And at this time, Charles, A.G., they all was already dancing at this time. So I'm in the crowd watching them. I'm watching Charles and A.G. like, dang, that look cold, you know? And I'm like, wow. But at this time, I didn't know what is good, what is bad. How do you know if you're creating the right thing? What gets the oohs? What gets the ahs? What is bad? So I basically study. I'm a detailed person, so I studied everybody. And I just made a collage of everything that I witnessed, as far as what was good, what was bad, how did people create, what was the levels of the difficulty and steps. And so I basically broke Chicago Footwork down to an atom, and even to this day, I'm still learning. But I broke it down to an atom, so that way it can be an instruction manual for somebody that never knew anything about Chicago Footwork. So coming from me, I didn't know anything about Chicago Footwork. I wasn't a dancer. I had no idea about parties. And one day I just saw it for the first time. And ever since then, I took notes. And from there, I translated those notes into the most simplest way to break it down universally to anybody. So when I make reference about the Footwork Bible, I'm talking about that right there. For those that may hear me say that sometimes, like, what's the Footwork Bible? Like, it's not my perception. It's not my, it's not my way of doing things. It's a universal way, because it's a collective of everybody in the culture that I saw. So it's just not my idea. It's a collectively everybody's. Even the styles that I don't personally do is in it, so that's the thing. So it's some stuff in there. Chicago Footwork it's like it's almost like a paintbrush, and the dance floor is your canvas, and you get to paint and create your picture every time you dance how you want to create. And everybody watch you paint. They watch you create. They stand by and watch you create. How you paint and create your picture is different from the next person. But we all got the same tools, but how we use the tools is uniquely us. So you may not use all the colors, but somebody else may use all the colors. Somebody may scribble out the lines. Some people may do it nice and clean. Hey, it's up to it. That's the thing about Chicago Footwork. Different parts of Chicago had different styles. They had different ways of doing it. Some people dance on their toes. Some people dance on their heels. Some people dance flat foot. Some people dance quiet and smooth. Some people dance loud and hard. It wasn't no just one way. Even the way they hold their arms, you could tell. Well, back then you could be able to tell what group a person was in just off their body posture. If they had their hands on their mouth when they dance, if their hands was in their pockets when they dance, like it was nonchalant, but still so smooth, effortlessly. Some people talk to you while they dance, while they actually footworking.
That's wild right there.
They talking stuff, having a whole conversation while they're dancing. That's mastery, because as a beginner, first thing is, how do you breathe while doing this dance style? Right. I'm so out of breath.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody able to talk, that means they're breathing perfectly fine. They're not even worried about breathing. So that shows you the levels of, man, this dude able to talk and dance on beat, and he's breathing totally fine. This is a different type of mastery right here. So that's why I say it's levels to Chicago Footwork. So just taking one class, not going to make you no master. Just taking a few classes, you got to kind of learn from different people to kind of see what resonates with you. And then you go from there on finding who you are. So, man, it's a journey. It's like a video game. Like, man, it's like a video game. Even to this day, the first people that I used to hear about, people, like, cause there's no Facebook. You would just hear about people like, yeah, this one dude, man, this dude named BB, he was so cold.
Yeah.
You're like, man, who is that? You don't got no face. You don't know what he looked like, but they're telling you how he danced. He do a lot of spins. He do moves on his heels. He's short. So you get to walk in a party, you don't know what the person looked like, but just identifying based off of that person's energy of their movements, you able to identify, oh wait, that little short dude, he doing a lot of spins and he dancing on his heels. Oh, he's smooth. I wonder if that's that dude named BB.
Yeah.
And it is. Like, the reputation spoke for itself. Yeah. Like, that's him. You know what I'm saying? Even Charles, they're like, oh yeah, this little light-skinned dude with braids. He do this little animation stuff. It's cold. Yeah. You know, he fast. And it's like, and I'm looking in the school. And now there's a lot of people with braids back then. I'm looking, okay, a light-skinned dude. And I see a little light-skinned dude. His hands going with his feet. Okay, that must be him. And then it was like one of those things like, your movements was your ID. You know, like, it was your identification card. Man. So that's another reason why back in the day, a lot of people wasn't so open to teach, because once again, that's like your ID signature. So it's like, man, what you trying to do with my signature? You know, I'm giving you my social security number right now. What you trying to do with it? You know, are you trying to take it to another group? You know, are you trying to steal moves? Yeah. You know, you trying to steal my identity and forge something else and call it your own. So a lot of people, it was really sacred to a lot of people, whereas you had to really put in work. Like, if you listen to some of the episodes on Behind the Name, a lot of the OGs was like, man, our stuff was like a fraternity. You had to get hazed in, you know, to show that you really wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to, if we went to the party, you had to carry everybody's book bag. You had to pay for everybody to eat or whatever it was, whatever that stuff was. It was that loyalty, because if you ain't have it in your heart to really want to be it, you wouldn't did it, you know? And like, most of the time, they just wanted to see how, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's a family, it's a brotherhood. And so it's one of those things where we all family, we all looked after each other. So what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. So we all as a team. So if you don't have that same spirit, then that's not the group for you, you know? Yeah. Now remind you, it's all different types of groups. So you had certain groups that didn't have that type of foundation. So it was like, that's why you had to find the group that fit you, you know? Some groups was like, they breastfed their members, you know what I'm saying? They babied them. Then you had some groups was like, hey, you got to get it on your own. We all had to do it tough love. Really? So depending on what you could take, that led you to your group. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
so,
can I interject for a moment?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're talking about groups, because I want to get into, because this give us the work. So what the name means, let us know everything possible about you. Just like back in the day, you go to Dairy Queen, be like, you want everything on that ice cream sundae, just say, give me the works. So
hey, I'm definitely giving you the works right now.
No. On the real. And I appreciate it, man. Just like, man, you're a footwork historian. I was like, that's on the real. So man, I see you got the group name in the back, and I'm gonna tell you, when I first heard it, when I first heard HAVOC on the real, please don't be offended. I thought about something like, man, you know, like from Halloween or something. Like,
Hey,
but then,
you hit it on the money.
really,
You hit it on the money. You hit it
straight
on the
up.
money. You hit it on the money. When I saw Footwork for the first time, it was 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, it was getting close to Halloween. And so around that time, it was like, man, we were trying to find some names. You know, like, man, we're gonna start our own group. We were trying to find some names. Now my little brother, Roblo, he had found the name in the book, in like the dictionary. Like, we was trying to, like, the names around our neighborhood.
Well, that's it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot. Hey, but check it out. Support our guest of the day. Our guest information will be listed on the screen. Should be looking at it right now. The social media contacts, the individuals' websites and all that. And stay tuned, because we will be continuing our conversation next week on Wednesday. Give us the works every Wednesday with your boy DJ Cornerstone. But until then, take care of yourself. God bless you. And footwork out.